it can be less. Don't worry about anything yet, because what
Recording.
happens is um I'm just seeing that it has connected straight away to both Facebook and YouTube, so that's good. So I'm going to press go live on Facebook,
Also, we are not live yet.
and we'll have a little chat. I'll ask you about your holiday, um,
Okay. Let's
just to see.
adjust my camera angle.
There we go. We're now live on Facebook. And we are live on YouTube too. Fabulous. Hi, Ella. How are you?
Hi, Claire. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Are you back in work mode, having been, where have you been?
Mallorca.
Yeah,
I know.
lovely.
I really needed some sunshine, and coming here and looking at the rain outside today is a little bit, but yeah, I mean, full, like, we came back on Monday, and Tuesday I had already client sessions. I was networking yesterday. I had my own coaching session yesterday and a client as well doing voice dialogue. So it was really, yeah, good.
Back in it. Well, I'm going to Spain on Saturday.
Oh, where are you going?
We are flying to Malaga, then we're going to Marbella, and then we are going back past Malaga, and we're doing a little bit, a night in a hotel in a few towns around the bottom, around Costa del Sol, up to Granada, where I'm going to meet Ella, one of my Clubhouse friends from all those years ago that I
Oh,
met on
yeah.
Clubhouse.
I remember Clubhouse. How we were hanging out in the middle of
I
the pandemic. That
I
was
made a lot of contacts on there. Yes, so I'm going to see Nicola in Granada, who I've not met in real life, but kept in touch with. So that's lovely as well.
lovely. Oh, that sounds like the warmest part of Europe, basically. That's
Yeah.
where we're going. Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And obviously, I already had some sun when I was in Orlando in January, so I am not complaining. I've done quite well for my winter in the UK so far. 2 weeks of it somewhere else.
Nice.
Anyway, let's get on with what we're going to talk about today. So you can tell us about what you do in a moment. I shall just do a little bit of an intro to this video for anyone that doesn't know about Creativity Found. So each week ish, I am chatting live with one of the members of the Creativity Found collective, which of course Ella is, so that you can find out, you, the viewer, can find out more about what they do and how they can help you either find a new creative outlet or how they can help you sustain and grow your own small business. So the Creativity Found Collective is a promotional and a networking membership. It's for artists and crafters who share their creative skills through classes, kits, online events, things like that. And it's also a membership for business support enterprises who use their expertise to help the artists and the crafters to grow their businesses, do a bit more of the arting and crafting, hopefully, and, build their small businesses by working together. So we promote their offerings on the website. We connect with them with a like-minded network of business owners, and in fact, we've got our monthly meetup this afternoon with you talking with us again, Ella. So Creative Collective members get to talk with Ella twice today.
I'm such a lucky girl this month. And it's my birthday this month, so that feels really perfect.
Brilliant. So, for anyone out there watching who likes the sound of this, have a look at creativityfound.co.uk/join us to find out about this very cost effective membership. And then we will move on to Ella. So, Ella, start by telling us, please, how you can help creative small business owners to thrive and grow.
Oh, wow. Where do I begin? I mean, the main thing I help people. So I'm a empowerment coach, and I help busy professional women to achieve what they want to achieve without burning themselves out. And I do that through coaching, running workshops, doing talks to this afternoon. And the main sort of outcome for people is getting more confidence, but also with people who are creative, I'm sure they experience a lot of little pesky voices in their head, like, oh, that's not quite perfect enough, let me perfect it a little bit more. Or inner critic having a go at them. Who do you think you are? Who is going to buy your stuff? Who all these sort of little voices that we all have. And so I help people to quieten those voices a little bit down. And I'm not saying completely get rid of them, because I heard people giving advice like, oh, when you hear your inner critic, just blast the music and just don't listen to them. Just what's going to happen when, if you don't listen to your inner critic and you don't give it your little attention, they are going to get like a Glastonbury sort of level of kid, and they will be shouting even louder. And that's because they are scared for you. Those parts are there because they want the best for you, and they are scared. They are fear driven. They don't want you to fail. They don't want you to be embarrassed. They don't want you to experience shame. They don't want you to experience rejection. So I help people to manage those voices in your head in a way that is compassionate. Just like, oh, I hear you. So tell me, what are you worried about? Oh, if you put it out there, people will see it. People would put negative comments under your Instagram, all that. I was like, oh, all right, I hear you. So giving this voice a little bit of space to tell what they are worried about, and then reassuring them, like thanking them, acknowledging, oh, I hear you're really worried about me, but you know what? I'm not a little girl anymore. I'm a grown up woman who can manage negative comments, who can manage negative feedback, who can manage anything that comes, because I'm not a little girl anymore. Because they came up when we were little, they came in childhood, those voices. So, oh, I could do a whole lecture on those. So I'll stop there. But those are like my main tool to empower people to manage those voices in their head. And then with them, the pure essence of you shows up, who you really are, because we let those parts, the perfectionist, the people pleaser, oh my goodness, people pleaser, we let them drive unconsciously our life and show up from those parts rather than who we truly are. By the way, my business is called Truly Boldly You. So it's about being truly yourself, being bold, being authentic, being you. It's about my clients. Okay, it's about them showing up the way they authentically are.
Yeah, I really understand that. It's funny because recently, I think even this week, with some of the recordings I've done, some of the editing I've done, people pleasing has come up a lot. Of
Mm,
course, imposter syndrome comes up a lot. I like the way that you talk about it as it's not the absolute enemy, and you give it like it has a use. It's there for a use, and you
yeah.
need to control it and not um, think
They
of it as yeah. That's
they
really
have
really
positive and
interesting.
negative sides. It's nice
Yeah.
to have them at, say, 20%, so they keep us in check, because if you put something that's totally not up to standard out there and just like, so they keep us in check, but let's not let them override our life. So just let's check in with them. And when we listen to those worries, we can actually check, actually, is it good enough or not? What do I think? And you can listen to that part or not listen to that part. Okay, and I sometimes consciously take my perfectionist sits over here, like on this side of me. And I remember getting a invitation to be a speaker at the event for women in Oxfordshire, and I was being introduced to people who never met me. So I usually be like typing emails. Also, I don't know if anybody noticed, English is not my first language. So I'm extra worried about my grammar, my wording. So in those situations, I turn my perfectionist up. I say, okay, come sit on my lap and let's write this reply together. Let's dot all the I's and cross all the T's and do it perfectly together. So there is use of them, like, this needs to be perfect. So come and collaborate with me, my dear perfectionist. Let's do it. But sometimes perfectionists can hinder us. They can Procrastination is driven by perfectionists, just like, it's not perfect now, so I'm not going to do it. Or I'm like spending too much time on choosing the right fonts, choosing the right colors, all that. So just knowing and managing those voices. Yeah.
Yeah. And why do you think it's important for you to be there and other people to be there, but to give that support. So, because oftentimes somebody starting their own small business will feel like they have to do everything and they have to be in control of everything. But I don't necessarily think that's a very helpful response. So, why do you think it's important to have some outside support?
Oh, so that will be the topic, very top. I'll go in depth into it in the afternoon at 4 o'clock in our
Mm,
community. But I think just we all have only 24 hours a day. Okay. And why do something that you might not be very good at, that the VA can do for you, that you
mm,
can spend time creating things, doing what you're good at, what drives you, So it's a fine balance, because there are things that I enjoy doing. Okay. There are things that and the things that I don't, I will ask someone to do them for me, So that's the shortest answer I can give you. It saves us time and energy, you know, first of
mm,
all. Um, and yeah, because we only have 24 hours a day, and we
mm,
have only, I don't know how many seconds in average life,
mm.
So just spend it on the meaningful stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I came up with a good idea of something I want to do in the future, but I don't want to do the research, so I'm going to pay my daughter to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do this job. Sydney, do you want to do this job? Because she hasn't got a proper after uni job yet. She's working in a pub. Blah. I was saying you could put this on your CV as some research for a podcast, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I could do that job, but
Yeah.
I'll put it off as well because I don't want to do it. I'll put it off, and then the whole project might never happen.
Yeah. And there's people sometimes think that they need to look for a professional to do it, but actually look at, that's what I'm going to, who is in your network, including your
Ah,
family, including your neighbors, including your friends, who can
yeah.
do it for you, paid or unpaid, because you love them, they love you so much that they might offer to do it for free, or as an exchange, energy exchange, value exchange. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, speaking of that, that's brilliant. And I love that you're saying about this is what you're going to be talking about later because Ella's talk with the members is what's it called? To do conscious.
Conscious network design. So how,
Brilliant.
because we don't know what gaps do we have in our network. Okay, we don't know even who we have in our network. So I'll be going through different areas of your life and what kind of support you might need, and it includes, practical help, like people who can do it for me, like the research, your research,
Mm,
your doctor, that's practical help. Okay, advisory roles, mentoring, coaching, accountability, buddies, that's crucial, emotional support, like there are different categories,
mm,
and who can fit in it, and sometimes we don't even notice how, like when I did that exercise that I'll be sharing, I noticed that my husband features heavily
mm.
in lots of areas, and I was like, oh my god, so it's time to appreciate some people in our life, or people who show up for us, who support us, and show them some appreciation. And also we can see that, oh, so and so offered to do that for me, and I never took them up on it. I said no, or I was embarrassed to accept. So I'll be also teaching how to gracefully accept help, and
Ah,
how to gracefully ask for help, not from the beginning, oh, if you could do it for me, because I don't, that's weak, that's not powerful, that's not empowered. But asking from the energy of, another thing I use is power types, powerful archetypes of women, and one of them is queen, and there's nothing about weak about queen. And if you come from energy of the queen, knowing that it's not about you, queen is never about herself, unless she's overexpressed, that's a tyrant sort of uh, energy. I'm talking about benevolent, well-meaning queen who deeply cares about her realm. And when she asks, she knows that it's not about her, it's about furthering the mission and the vision she's on, furthering the mission of her business, furthering the mission of her family, whatever it is. She knows it's not about her, it's about the vision.
and did you start? I mean, you and I have been because we are local, and in fact, that's how we met was through going to networking meetings that were actually planned, which was super and lovely. Did you? Um, how did you always want to do that kind of thing and be connected with communities?
Oh, I mean, connection is like one of my top values there.
Mm,
So that's important for me. Uh, we know when I was a teenager, I didn't know I'd be a coach.
mm,
I didn't know I always wanted to be a teacher. So I think it's like next door. I love teaching, and the talks I deliver is part of tools. But I used to be a teacher of English, believe it or not, back in Poland. So I taught English as a foreign language. Then when I came to this country, which I thought would be just for a summer, and then I loved Oxford and I stayed, and then I met my husband. So it sort of, you know, now I'm here indefinitely. Um, so I was teaching English in Oxford as well at the language schools there. I had a short stint in primary schools, and I think that was just to prepare me for the pandemic and homeschooling. So, so in that time, I nailed phonics and did that with with my children. But then I was teaching English. I was teaching adults. I was teaching from people from all over the world. I love the Brazilians, Koreans, Saudi Arabia. Like people from all over the world were coming to Oxford to learn English. That was the lovely pre-pandemic times. And then I had my children, and I remember uh, that was a very different time in my life, because I was no longer a professional woman who was going to conferences for teachers and presenting at those conferences and hanging out and having this professional buzz. I was Maya's mom at Monkey Music, and that's how people knew me. They didn't even know Ella, Maya's mom, could you please, you know. So I felt like my life is now nappies, milk, and talking about teething remedies. That's how I felt. And then I saw this advert on Facebook that said one woman conference, a conference for every professional woman. And there was this yearning in me to be there, to be in that professional environment where I'll be a woman, a professional woman, no. And so I signed up for that conference. It was a conference by an organization called One of Many. And after I've signed up, obviously I started getting their marketing, and I signed up to one of their programs, which was around time and energy management. And there I discovered those powerful archetypes of women. I was like, oh my goodness, I've got the choice how I show up. I can be victim, or I can be bitchy and shouty and, angry. Or I can come from energy of the queen, calm, and tell me that's enough. Lego Duplo for now. Let's go to bed with my children, for example. So just that's the easy trigger to lose your cool. So yes. So after doing that course, I saw the value of those powerful tools. Like they were really life changing for me. There were like several tools that I'm now qualified and certified and licensed to share. So after doing that program, I was like, everyone should know this stuff. I'll tell my NCT friends about it. I tell my colleagues about it, you know. And then I got an email, hey, we are recruiting the next cohort of coaches. Would you like to, is it something you'd be interested in? And I was like, yeah, where do I sign? And I just started my journey on getting qualified as a coach. So I did a year-long training with them, with practice sessions. Then I kept going with my growing my coaching skills with ICF, International Federation of Coaching. I get a mentor from there, lovely Kath Daly. I'm going to give her a shout out because she's absolute legend when it comes to crafting, shaping coaches into brilliant coaches. And and then I discovered other modalities like voice dialogue, which is that part, the perfectionist, the pleaser, the inner critic, the pusher, all of them, So I'm a certified facilitator for voice dialogue. I did with lovely Annie Stocker, who is also one of many trainer, um, so that organization really sort of put me on that path of coaching and training, personal development. And so that's how I ended up doing it. And I was really felt really aligned with their mission. Their mission is to empower and equip million grassroots women leaders so they can have an impact without burnout. And I was like, yes, I'm up for that. That's what I
Mm,
want to do as well, because I strongly believe, and there is research that supports that when there are women in organizations in leadership positions, higher up there on the boards. Everybody benefits. The employees benefit, the local communities benefit, because we are more wired to be compassionate and help, and and share our resources.
Mm.
Yeah, so I want to see more women out there being successful and doing things the more feminine peacemaking way, just yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Not the outright, as you said earlier, this is bad, this is good. It's
Mm.
more organic than that. So how do you logistically actually do that? So you do one-to-ones, you've talked
Mostly our
briefly about events. So tell me a bit about how you do it.
So I have one-to-one sessions with my clients. Most of them are on the like a 12, 12 months contract twice a month, because that's sort of nice gap between sessions when they can implement whatever they came up in the session with. And I also run events, because those tools are so amazing. That I love to share them. So I run workshops. One is Flourish, which is about harnessing those powerful archetypes of women, and the other one, which is coming up in March, is time and energy management for busy women. And this is basically all these tools that help us spin less plates, or fewer plates. Sorry, English second language.
Very good.
And so just have, manage ourselves a little bit better, because when we do that, and that's why is it so important. I don't think people appreciate how important it is, because when we manage our time, when we manage our energy, we can give more of us to those that we love, not what's left of us to our family and loved ones, but what we've got, and we prioritize better. We And that helps us lead happier lives, have happier families, happier relationships with our
Mm.
family, but also with our colleagues, or because we are less triggered. I've noticed that whenever I lose my cool and get into a shouty mama mode, is because I've been rushed and pressured and I don't have enough time. You know, that
Definitely.
those are the
Yeah.
most sort of triggering times for me to not be not behave in a way that I'm proud of. Uh, so managing that, and having, or also when you are tired, haven't slept enough, we are hungry. Oh goodness, so just having all that. So in this workshop, I will not only be sharing amazing, life-changing tools, but uh, also a bit of a mindset work, a bit of techniques for boundary settings. And it doesn't mean to say no to everyone and everything,
Mm.
it's just be more strategic about it, and how to do it elegantly, that we don't offend people and we still keep the
Mm.
relationships, but we are in integrity with ourselves, and we say no, or we
Yeah.
say, not this week, not this year, not this month.
Yeah, I think that is a really difficult one for some people to get to grips with. When we did first meet, that was, you did a small snippet of that teaching at the event we were at when we first met, and it did really resonated with me. Tell me, well, no, we're gonna sing my praises now. What have you? We both go out. We do a lot of networking. I'm very into like connection, and I know you are as well. What have you found beneficial about joining the Creativity Found collective? Because there's just a couple of you at the moment that are supportive on the outside. So you're not teaching your art or craft, but you are supporting other small businesses. But generally, what have you found
I mean,
interesting about joining this collective?
so what pulled me first was the creativity, because I don't know if you know about me, I have ADHD. Like, I'm self-diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have it, and therefore I have hundreds of hobbies, and I can do acrylic painting and mixing paints and things. It's amazing. So the creative part of it, just like, oh, that would be nice. And I love going to, like, I went to a jewelry workshop once, and just, so I love crafts. I love doing something, and I've been doing cross stitching, painting, drawing, watercolors, pencil drawing. So, and I've been doing it since like the pencil drawing. I remember drawing trees was my favorite thing when I was young, just drawing trees with all the shades and all little branches and things. So that what pulled me to it initially. What I didn't expect, Claire, was how super, super supportive you are of the members of the community. Like I'm almost ashamed that I'm not showing up as much as I would like to, because like for the talk that I'm doing, like you created a whole page, you created a whole mini page for my workshop and shared it without me even knowing, without even asking, without me even sending you a copy or anything. You just grabbed it from my landing page, made it your version of it, put it on the website. I'm sort of oh, and I feel like I should coach you about charging more for the membership, because because that's really that's very rare, Claire. That's very rare. That level of generosity that you give. That's what I love about it.
Oh,
And
thank you.
and you're everywhere, and you're super super supportive of your members. So yes,
Oh.
that's I think that's the without even going much into like the meetings and things,
Mm,
just what I see from outside.
yeah,
Amazing, amazing.
thank you. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm pleased. Yes,
I think it's also super important, like when being like I believe lots of people who do are creative, like they're artists, they're doing their own crafty things. That can be a very lonely place to be because it's you and your studio,
Mm-mm.
you know so having this community of your buddies who are on the same sort of journey with different sort of flavors of that journey, because someone might be writing, someone might be painting, someone might be creating things, practical things for sale.
Yeah.
um, Yet it's you and your workshop and your tools and so having somewhere to go and meet other humans and connect and share experiences and learn from each other and get support and be able to be vulnerable as well and
Mm.
seek support. I think that's super valuable and rare.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's lovely, and that's exactly all the kind of things that I intended and hope that members do get out of it. So that's really lovely to hear. Thank you, Ella. Was there anything else you wanted to mention? We've talked about your work. We've talked about the upcoming workshop, just in case there was anything else.
What do I want to talk about? I don't know. I can give details for the workshop if anyone is interested. So,
Yeah.
or when this goes live on the things, I can put a link. But the workshop is on the 23rd of March in Abingdon in Hilton Garden Inn, in lovely space there, and it's a whole day workshop from 9 till almost 5, and we will be going deep into tools, into ourselves, and everyone will come out with having solved at least one of their sort of quandaries. And it's a beautiful day to connect with everyone because it's basically safe space to be who you are, and just show up as you are. And lunch is included. It's a delicious lunch in the buffet lunch in the restaurant. So it's really and I've noticed that there were friendships forming and relationships forming and business exchanges forming at that workshop, because there's also plenty of opportunity um, to network. So yes, 23rd of March, Abingdon Hilton Garden Inn, and ask you can connect with me and ask me to more details if you're interested.
Yeah, definitely. There are links in the description for this on Facebook.
Oh,
And
you put the
well, there will be when I've done it, there will be. Well, I have done it, but once I press stop, the links will be there. But
You
yeah,
are so on it. You are
yeah, the
so on it.
link to your page, and on your page is a banner for that particular workshop that links back to your booking page. I also wanted to say for people coming a bit further afield, there is parking at this hotel.
Oh, there's loads of parking.
Yeah. So
There's lots
don't
of
worry about transport.
And also, I had people coming to my workshop from Shropshire, Bristol, London, St Albans. So just like
Yeah.
it's not that far, and absolutely, I mean, the feedback I get, I love reading feedback forms at the end of the,
Mm.
I always ask for feedback. Feedback is the most generous gift you can get, especially the critique, because you know how to grow. So however, the feedback is usually 10 out of 10, and it's worth more than the time and energy invested in the day, so
Yeah.
absolutely come, even if you're further afield.
Yeah, and it is really easy to get to as well. Abingdon
Oh,
itself,
just off
it's
A34.
off the A34, and then you're right in the car park as well. Super. So brilliant. Thank you so much, Ella. That's really, really good. It's been so jam-packed full of information, which we like. I'm just going to say a few things before I click off. So we are live streaming using Riverside, which is the recording platform that I also use for all of my podcast episodes. The quality is brilliant. They have editing in there that you can use as well. I use it for videos and things for the some of the editing, not the deep editing, but it is really, really easy to use. So if you're interested in live streaming or starting a podcast for yourself, there's a link to Riverside in the description here. There's also a link for Buzzsprout because they are the wonderful people who host my podcast and they are really, really good for that. And if you want to talk to me about podcasting, for example, I'm very, very happy to have a chat. So, as I said, you can find a link to Ella's page at creativityfound.co.uk also in the description. And you can also find a link to join our lovely collective. And I think that's all the housework, not housework, what's it called? The stuff you have to put in at the end of a
Public
talk.
announcements.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So thank you so much, Ella. That was
Thank
brilliant.
you. Thank
And
you.
I and some other lucky people will see you later as well.
Lovely. Lovely.